Welcome to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we're here to talk about what your local government is doing to you, making regulations, ordinances, and all those kind of things that affect you.
And these are the people that you've elected or the commissions or committees that they've appointed. And the decisions that they make, whether you live in Oxford Township, Village of Oxford, Village of Leonard, or Addison Township, directly affect you.
And it
so pay attention.
Could hurt.
And just remember that almost 50% of what we say is true, and the other,
Well, pretty much, folks, if you listen to what I say, you're okay. Here's the other 50% over here. So,
hey, wait a minute. That adds up to 100%.
It does. Okay, who'd have figured? Anyway, let's talk about the North Oakland Transportation Authority, known
NOTA.
as NOTA.
Headed up by Lynn Gustafson.
It is. And she is very, very knowledgeable about what goes on there. And she has done some neat things, which we'll talk about right now.
All right.
Because the first thing that came up was the director's report. And she's the director, of course. Addison Township on November will have an election coming up concerning NOTA.
That's right. They turned down the millage for NOTA before, and now they're giving it another chance.
They're going to give it another shot.
What's the old saying in elections? You can say no, 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 which is canceled out by one yes.
Yes. Anyway, they're asking for 2.5 mils,
Yep.
from Addison. Now, the implication is that if the folks out there for some reason turn it down again, then effective in January of 2015, they will no longer have NOTA services, which is going to have quite an impact on a number of people out there.
That's all of Addison Township, which is a considerable area.
Yep. And actually, their transportation out in that area has increased over the last year or so compared even to the other communities. We're talking about Lake Orion and Oxford.
Well, and being a rural area, there's more longer distance travel between points.
Sure. And, they believe that the reason why it was turned down was because people just didn't grasp, the ramifications of this thing, if it was turned down. And, of course, what the benefits are, to the people of Addison Township.
Right. And I'm sure that NOTA itself could provide statistics to them as to the degree to which they use it.
Yes, and they're going to do that, by the way. They are going to come up with a campaign program, starting with signage, that kind of thing, where you can get information, from both the township representatives and, through NOTA, by contacting NOTA.
And there may be people that are actually eligible to use NOTA that really don't know how to do that, or know that it even exists for that matter, or as a function for making their lives a little easier.
Yeah, they could be sitting at home saying, I can't get out of here. How do I get out of here? Oh, there's a way. I heard, but I'm not sure. What is it? Anyway, that could happen.
That's right. NOTA could be the answer.
Yep. So we'll see what happens in November. But they have a pretty good campaign in terms of information that's coming forward. And so you folks watch for it out there, especially in the Addison area.
What's the old song? You don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah, that's for sure. And so if you see the bus missing and it goes, well, that would be what would be gone.
Right.
Okay. They are going to be getting a new vehicle coming up because some of their vehicles are, getting to the point where, they need repairs. So,
right. There's wear and tear.
Yep. So next year they will be getting at least one new vehicle.
They're not cheap because they have to be adaptable for wheelchairs and stuff like that.
Right. You can't really refer to them as cheap. Inexpensive is the word used. But you can't use cheap because
I did.
You're right. You did, yes. Anyhow,
I'll take it back.
You would, yes. They reviewed September's bills. Everybody has bills. Bills, right?
Anything special?
Yep, $16,000 worth of special. And they approved them.
Well,
So,
good.
yeah, they got to pay their
anything,
bills.
no standouts in it.
No standouts. Actually, it's closer to 17. It was 16,455 and some odd pennies. But it was approved.
And that's why you're not an accountant.
That's why I'm not an accountant. And I can hardly wait to talk to you more about this because this guy does a lot of accounting, for the station here. It's interesting. At least provides numbers. I don't know if he really does accounting, but he's got numbers here and there, and he pulls out of the place and he says, hey, how do these look?
As long as it adds up in the end.
It does, as long as it adds up in the end. New business was, of course, the election was a main concern that they had. They did discuss that for some time. They also had bids in for audit proposals. In other words, they're required by law to have an audit once a year. There were 3 companies that came forward. One was Ramey Phillips. The other one was Abram Gaffney. Abraham Gaffney. And the other one was Randy Phillips. Now, Randy Phillips is the individual or the company that's been handling, all of their accounting.
Okay, but I think
in the
townships
past.
are obligated, or government units like that are obligated to come up with 3 bids in a lot of cases. And
Yeah,
it's just a matter of procedure.
Well, especially if it's over a certain amount of money. However, if it's a unique thing, for example, if they're the only computer company out there, then they could bypass that. Or
Right,
if they're the
right.
only insurance company out there.
If you've got a proprietorial lock on the thing, then you're in.
They lock it down, then they're in. Yes, absolutely. So anyway, after the smoke all cleared, and there was smoke, because
There was?
there's quite a discussion on, who it should be based on, the figures that they had. And I won't get into the numbers because you folks want to see the actual meeting. You can go to occtv.org and you can click on programs, and more likely you'll find, this particular meeting out there for
You'll
the,
find all
Pollyanna,
all of our
for the
programs are in reverse date
Open.
order, so just pound through the pages and you'll find what you're looking for.
Yep, you'll find the North Oakland Transportation Authority, Pollyanna Trail, all these kind of meetings.
Or if you just want to really tunnel down, there's something called folders at the top, and you can go to just NOTA and see all of the NOTA meetings or all of the Pollyanna Trail meetings displayed in reverse date order.
This is one case where he's not spreading a rumor. It is out there.
Oh,
Okay.
one for the facts guy.
Yeah. And then actually, I got to tell you that one of the people on the board said, well, wait a minute. Couldn't Addison Township, couldn't they pass a resolution, that they want to approve this, for NOTA? And Bruce Pearson says, no, I don't think so. He said that they can recommend, that they vote, that they come out and vote for that. But he said it's not good manners or kosher to direct the citizenship on how to vote.
I see. What would be the total amount of money raised by that millage?
The
in
total
Addison?
amount?
Yeah, for a year.
150,000, probably 200,000 in that area. Is that a good number? Here's where the rumors begin.
Throws numbers around.
I could have said $1 million, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Is
Okay.
that a good answer?
That's who knows.
I know
You
what.
could be lucky.
I know what. Dave will tell us next time, next program we have. Right, David?
Oh, sure.
There's a whole bunch of things I have a list for that. You know what? We'll talk about that when we come back right after this.
This is OCTV, Oxford Community Television, serving Oxford and Addison Townships with the best in local programming. On Charter Channel 191, AT&T UVerse Channel 99, and our website, OCCTV.org. OCTV, we provide local programming that brings you closer to home.
Because I love sports. I've been involved in educational athletics all my life, and I like to give back to the kids and the athletes and the parents and the schools.
And there was guys that were nice enough to do it and volunteer their time when I was a kid coming through school, so I'm just paying it forward.
I like the things that officiating gives to officials, confidence, decision-making abilities, be able to work in teams.
You can be a referee.
Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we've been talking about Addison Township from standpoint of what NOTA. They're interested in having a millage approval there. And that was part of what we discussed, right?
Right.
Did I miss anything?
Other than the fact they turned it down before and they're putting it on the ballot again.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, let's skip right over that one like a stone on the pond. And we're going to go to Downtown Development Authority.
DDA
Yep,
of the Village of Oxford.
right. And they're the people, if you recall, didn't have any money. They'd run out of money because they spent money supposedly willy-nilly. But I don't think it was willy-nilly.
Was it Willie or Nilly that took it? I don't know.
I don't know. But anyway, they're starting to become quite solvent in terms of their money coming in. So that's a good sign. Bill Dunn is the chairperson, for that group, that board.
And the president of our board's on there too, our commission, the
Oh, the commission,
OACCC
yes.
at
Dave-
Hunwick.
Well, yes, he is. And the president of the village council also serves on there, and that's Dave Bailey.
Right.
However, Dave Bailey wasn't there for this particular meeting, but anyway, he hardly ever misses a meeting, so must be some reason out there. He was held at gunpoint or something. Who spread that
He's a
rumor?
very dedicated guy.
Yeah. The director is Jenny Shomish, I believe is the way it's pronounced. Is that close?
I don't have a challenge for you there.
Okay. Anyway, she is showing that she's very knowledgeable about reconstruction of various old buildings, that kind of thing, and what should be done. Streetscape, all those things. She's very active, in getting involved with the county. And she's shown quite a bit of enthusiasm, in this meeting.
Are they going to try to get back onto the Main Street program?
They are.
Oh, good.
Yep. And let's talk about a few of those things. She says that she'd like to have more input from the businesses. And that's something which she said seems to be lacking in the past. And her point is probably well taken. She said there's some positive feedback, some negative as well, as to how they're performing for the DDA. They had 3 meetings so far for the Scarecrow Festival, which is coming up. And that's
Okay.
coming up, you know when?
No, but go ahead.
October 11th. You would throw
October
that back to
11th.
me, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would.
Okay, October 11th, yeah. And that's going to be a fun time. Lots of food, chili cook-off, all that kind of thing. They're going to have dog adoptions or pet adoptions, I guess, area set up in an area. Children play area. Should be a lot of fun out there.
And you'll see a lot of interpretations as to what a scarecrow really looks like.
Yeah, nothing like him, I got to
Hey.
tell you. Oxford, don't forget that, in Oxford, in October 11th is the date. Mark that on your calendar. They are looking for, she said, businesses and individuals that want to sponsor, various programs that they have, events. And she's saying, I will put together some forms, that kind of thing, where it's easy for people to, submit. And make people more aware. Very interested in working closer with the Chamber of Commerce, and she said that she's made those inroads. Unfortunately, the Chamber of Commerce has lost their director.
They just got their director.
Yeah, they can't find her anymore. So she's no longer, they don't have a chamber director. The president.
I hope they don't have to resort to
It's
a
still
ball
there.
and chain. Keep person there.
No, I think what it boiled down to, I think she wanted part-time, and they said they were looking for somebody now full-time for the job. I think that's what it boiled down. Now, here's again a rumor.
Well, wasn't that originally supposed to be a part-time job, and then they changed their mind?
Yes, it's supposed to be part-time.
So they hired it as part-time, then
Yep.
pulled a switch and
Yep.
said, "Oh,
And she says, thanks for no thanks.
all right, there you go."
See you later. So anyway, right now they don't
careful
have
what
a
you ask
director.
for.
You got to be careful. Yes. Let me see. She said that they need to look into their money availability for the events. That they're kind of limited right now, which we know they are because they had no money for a long time. But somebody put his hand up. Bill Dunn says, "Hey," he says, "I can get us, I think, $2,000." He says, "from a very good sponsor we've had in the past." He said, "I'll give him a call."
Thank you, Elgin.
No. Yeah, he came to me and I said, "See, Dave Kenny,
Yeah,
he'll be
right,
glad to do this."
right.
He's been stealing chipmunks and moving them to various areas.
They're happier now. I'm sure they are.
I'm sure
By the
they
way,
are.
did you see them yet at your place?
No, but I got boa constrictors I moved down to your property, so should be a good
I've seen police reports on that.
Okay. Anyway, so be it. We got animal transition. I don't know if you can move animals like that. I think that's illegal. I'll talk to the chief about that, and he'll be in touch with you. How's that?
I don't know. First, he has to cope with your boa constrictors.
No, they're on your property now, not
Oh,
on
are
mine.
they?
Okay.
Well, I've got killer garter snakes on my property.
All right.
Boa constrictors are
Well,
doomed.
and talking about donations, we're back to that again. Notice how I did that?
Donation.
Donation. Genesis has donated $1,000. The new
Genesis Credit Union.
Credit Union. Yep. Which
They're
is building a
good.
new building.
Yeah, and it's almost. Is it walled in yet?
It's looks like a skeleton right now.
Okay, all steel.
Yep, all steel, and they're starting to fill it in. So, anyway, And I think it's due to open sometime in latter portion of November, first part of December sometime. So
Is
it's
Kevin
been moving
Wisely
along.
still involved with that?
Kevin Wisely, I think is, but I don't know what capacity he's dealing
Okay,
with it.
all right.
Okay, so again, another rumor. Okay. And this time he spread it, not me. Okay. Sullivan's also, Jerry Crimmins, who's the owner.
Right, Sullivan's
along with his
Public
wife,
House.
Yep. Has made donations as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he said too, by the way, he said, we have a room upstairs, he said, that is unoccupied after certain hours, that you could have your meetings there, you know, as far as a promotional meeting for businesses, that kind of thing, if you wish to do so.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a pretty nice offer, you know. He's the newest member, by the way, on the
And a very active
DDA.
one.
He is very active, yeah. I think they
Shore and
try to-
Bigora.
yeah, sure, Bigora. Anyway, he, I think, was recommended also for the Township Development Authority, which is part of the Planning Commission, you know, for the township. And but I don't think he has the resources or the ability to do it right now. So he's kind of said, maybe in the future, I think. Sure.
Well, when you're running a bar/restaurant, your time is pretty much occupied.
You think so? Yeah, it is. Yeah. So anyway, they said they were looking at the chili cook-off. That's all set and ready to go. All those kind of things. There will be a small nominal fee for taste, though. So
$80?
It's not going to be free chili. No, it could be a nickel.
Oh, okay.
That's what Charlie Brown says. Nickel.
Nickel.
Okay. With that being said, we'll be back right after this.
You're watching Oxford Community Television, serving Addison and Oxford Townships, keeping it local.
Hi, I'm John Ochins. We're talking to some of our senior neighbors at Independence Village of Waterstone in Oxford. Came up with this program, My Life, when a group of us were sitting around at the station talking about how we wished we would have asked our parents some questions. But unfortunately, by the time we thought of those questions, it was too late. So we invite you to join us for My Life on Oxford Community Television.
Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nickel.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we're just talking about Downtown Development Authority and the great job that Jenny Schomish is doing as a director, and a lot of things in the works there. They, of course, their funding is looking a lot better in terms of their general fund. There's more
How
money
are they
coming
funded,
in.
by the way?
Huh?
How are they funded?
How are they funded? Actually, they're funded through the grant money, which is provided through tax money that's provided, a certain percentage that comes to them.
Isn't there a special assessment for the DDA district?
There is, yep. And that's the way that's handled too. But I did want to mention grants on purpose, because that was an area that Jenny feels that they need to go after. more so.
U.S. grants?
No, they're going to, well, they could have. All right.
mind.
They could have federal grants, U.S. grant. He's been dead for years. But anyway, state grants, certainly what they're most interested in. There's quite a competition for that kind of thing, though. But she feels that she has the connections where she should be able to bring some of these in, which is a good thing. It's a part-time job that Jenny is filling, but honestly, she's doing a full-time job in a part-time position. So she's working all kinds of hours on this thing. Very enthusiastic. She's going to participate in a number of different events coming up, and one of those is downtown, let me see, what do they call it? A streetscape. That's what I was looking for.
Streetscape.
Streetscape.
Is that related to Main Street?
Main Street, yep.
Okay.
And there...
That has a lot to do with the revision that MDOT is going to do to the Highway M24 coming down the middle of Oxford.
Well, it has a small smidgen to do with it. It does,
well,
but
it can be
actually-
affected greatly by it, though.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it will. Well, that money has been appropriated, to make the left-hand turn, and they're talking about. But anyway, that's a whole different subject. How did you get me there anyway?
I love that.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, we're not accredited for streetscape. As you know, we
It
did.
says right there, veer off notes.
Those are not notes at all. Those are just comments as I go along. Anyway, folks, you don't want to get in on this one.
a
We'll
squirrel.
talk about this later. Yeah, chipmunks. Anyway, forget the chipmunks. We've got to go on with this.
Okay.
So anyway, she's going to attend meetings for this in Oakland County, which she's got to have a hotel room available. And she's going to share it with somebody else she's friends with that also is involved in streetscape. So it's a good thing she has these connections. But anyway, I think it was Ed Hunwick. He says, wait a minute. He says, she shouldn't have to pay for everything, you know, the gas and everything. And she says, well, it's very inexpensive for me to go there. I'm going to share the gas with this other person, share the hotel room, half of it, you know, with the other person.
Oakland County?
In Oakland County is where.
That's not very far.
Yeah, right. But I think the thing is late at night or something going on. So,
okay, all right.
in order for her to have to come back. And there's one in Lansing. And again, transportation was
Well,
one of the things that they
understand
talked
that one.
about, you know, for Lansing, and also hotel rooms, so that kind of thing. So anyway, Ed says, well, there ought to be some kind of a budget established, you know, where, you know, she doesn't have to take it out of her pocket to do this. Bill Dunn said, yeah, I agree with that. He said, let's put it on the agenda for the next meeting. And that's the way it was left. Okay?
And when is this meeting?
Next month.
No, I mean, when is she expecting to
Well,
extend
she has,
this money?
has several meetings coming up.
But the one for Oakland County?
I think that's the 3rd, no, the 6th, October 6th. There's one also October 23rd, and there's one in the county for October 28th again. I think the one on the 23rd, if I recall, is going to be in Lansing.
Okay.
It's a conference that she needs to attend.
Well, she's taking the deep dive then.
Yeah, so you asked me those questions. Guess what? I was ready for you this time.
Sometimes you are.
Sometimes I am, yes. Let me see what else we got here. Oh, bills. They talked about the website. $700 for fee to bring the website up to date. So far,
Right now it's stuck in 2013.
right. And, well, actually, Jenny said that she has now been able to upgrade that to some degree, but that the new websites, and there's 3 of them, should be coming up.
Three
soon.
websites?
3 websites. They're all tied into one another.
Really?
And she started to explain it. And if you want to learn more about it, you know, she explains it, you know, on the meeting, you know, for NODA. Just in case you want to know.
Yeah. Well, look at Peg Central, folks. You'll see it all.
Yeah. Well, not all. A lot of it.
Oh, was there a
Right?
closed session?
No.
Then you'll see it all.
Yeah, you might. Okay. They did talk about the Lone Ranger Festival also, because you know they're involved in that as well. And let me see what's going on with that. Oh, I guess everybody's pretty happy with the Lone Ranger program.
Well, Rod Charles, a big mover and shaker on the Lone Ranger program, is part of the DDA, isn't he?
He is part of the DDA. There is a board vacancy, and Bill Dunn said,
Who vacated?
well, somebody a long time ago. It's been vacant for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Probably ever since the other board, you know, it was disassembled or whatever they did back then. So
I'll go with
that's a
disassemble.
whole
I'm not going to challenge on that.
whole different subject. Anyway, Bill Dunn says, hey, he says, we need to have that vacancy filled. And he said, I'll make a recommendation. We have somebody in our audience that keeps showing up, and even though I lock the door and all the windows, she still gets in. Sue Basardi.
Sue Basardi,
Yeah,
who also heads up the Village Planning Commission, doesn't she?
she does. She's the chairperson for that.
Yeah.
And she's also on the, what else is she on?
She's on the Village Council.
She's all over the place. Superwoman.
Superwoman.
But anyway. So,
And the OACCC,
so Bill says,
our parent
yeah,
organization.
Bill yells out to the audience, how about Sue? You want to be on this board? And Sue says, I guess if you twist my arm, I'll. Anyway, so it looks like it's got to be approved by the council before she can. So that'll be the next step. So you folks, you'll hear more down the line here.
So Sue,
As to who they
expect
put
your email mailbox to fill up again.
And then they'll have a full board, which is 9 members.
Oh,
So that'll take care of that. Let me see what else we've got here. Okay, Main Street, we talked about that. They need help on committees. One is design and financial committee. They need to strengthen it up according to the director. That's an area that needs improvement.
is there anybody currently on it?
There is. There's only 2 people though, and that's not enough to get things done according to the director, that they need to have additional people to get more ideas and have it structured. Preservation, grassroots are required, she said. Question came up about National Register, some of the old buildings downtown. That's possible that can be done. It's based on contiguous properties and how old they are and that kind of thing. And the kind of theme also could be a consideration. And she did discuss that.
Does being on the National Register kind of put an impediment to people that are trying to sell the property or improve it?
Yeah. Actually, it's a strength,
Is it?
if you get on the register, because then the whole state takes notice.
Boy, you got a really
Also
old
the
you got a
nation.
really old building there.
Yeah. Also, the nation does too.
Yeah.
But the thing that does prohibit some development, of course, is the fact if somebody wants to change a building, then now you're restricted that it has to be the same type of bricks, it has to be the same type of facade that they put on originally. It's made out of the same kind of materials. So there are restrictions with that, no question about it. Okay, I think that pretty much takes care of the DDA. What do you got coming up, by the way?
Well, we have a few meetings. On 10/1 at 6:30, the Oxford Township Economic Development Subcommittee will be meeting at the Vets Hall, but check on it because sometimes they don't. And on 10/6 at 7 o'clock, the Village of Oxford Zoning Board of Appeals, ZBA, will be meeting. At 7:30, the Addison Township Parks Committee will be meeting. And on 10/7 at 7 o'clock, the Village of Oxford Planning Commission will be there. Hi, Sue. And 10/8 at 7 o'clock, the Oxford Township Board of Trustees. Hi, Sue again. And you. And 6:30, Oxford Area School Board will be meeting at the district offices in downtown Oxford. And that's it.
A lot of stuff going on.
Always.
All right. They had another meeting, which you were part of, and it was the Communications Commission meeting. And I was out of town for the thing, but they approved bills of about $16,000, which you pretty much put together for
The
them.
Cable Communications Commission.
Cable Communications, yes.
Right.
Oxford Cable Communications Commission.
OACCC.
Those guys.
Okay.
They're kind of us, aren't they?
They're us. They're our
Okay.
parent body.
Cable are us. Anyway, they had a year-to-date expense report. They talked about revenues, payments from various communities, and how different communities pay different amounts, to support, the station here. They talked about job descriptions that are going to be available soon, but not yet for all the employees. Commission goals, those kind of things. All those kind of things were discussed. And that's pretty much it with the cable company. I'm Elgin Nichols,
And I'm Dave Kenny.
and we'll catch you next time on Minutes by Minute.
See you then.
Don't miss it.
Here we are in front of American Legion Post 108 in Oxford. Now, every Friday between 12 and 8:30, they serve up some of the best fish in Michigan. Follow me inside. We're going to take a look around the post. All right, here we are now on the Hull side of the post where you can get tables for anywhere to 6 to 30 people. And before or after you're done eating, take a walk around and browse through the second largest military museum in the state of Michigan. All right, now we're over on the restaurant side of the post where most of the fun happens. As you can see behind me, they've got darts, pool tables, 50-50 raffles, and any kind of fish you can think of, baked cod, walleye, combo plates, all right here at your beck and call.
You're watching OCTV, Oxford Community Television, serving Oxford, Addison Township, and the village of Leonard.
A high school football game night is a unique experience, uniting a community in so many ways and showcasing other school activities. This grand setting helps kids learn life skills and build lifetime relationships in the safest environment ever, where teacher coaches, equipment, rules, and safety protocols minimize risks. It's a true celebration of participation. Support your local school and its young people who enjoy this privilege.